Imagine this. You're watching the Grammys expecting the usual parade of superstars celebrating each other, but something feels off. The winners? Completely unexpected. The snubs? Absolutely brutal. And then an artist takes the stage not to thank the Academy, but to call them out? It's happened again. And if you've ever felt like the Grammys are more than about industry politics than about actual talent, well, you're not alone. But here's the question. Are the Grammys truly about rewarding the best artists? Or is it all just a rigged game? We're really going to go deep into the decades of shocking upsets, secret committees, and artists who have flat out rejected their awards. Even the biggest names, Beyoncé, The Weeknd, Metallica, they've all been caught in a crossfire. So today we're pulling back the curtain on the Grammy Awards, exposing the hidden forces that decide who wins and who gets erased. And by the end of this episode, you're really going to see the Grammys in a way you never have before. Because once you know this, you can't unsee it. Here on Real Brave Live. Kevin.
Yep.
Imagine tuning into the Grammy Awards and expecting the usual celebration of mega famous people celebrating each other.
I'm imagining it.
Please do. Only to witness a series of events that leave you questioning the very integrity of the award itself. From unexpected winners that defy all predictions to artists that publicly denounce their awards for some reason. Today we're going to talk about this. It's going to blow your mind. I know this is your favorite show.
Is this the Grammy episode?
This is it. Oh, man. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged here on
Real Brave Live.
Cool. Did not screw that up. But first, if you're here and you are guitar bad and want to be guitar good, please click the link below and we will help you.
That's old Real Brave lore. Dan was testing the chat feature on the website, and the first message I think he sent in was, "Help, I am guitar bad." This is years ago.
That's coming back, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So we welcome Brian back to the show. Brian, our resident chief curiosity correspondent of Cheese and Lameness. Brian, welcome back.
Cheese and what?
Lameness.
Lameness?
You're the CCCCL.
Okay. I'm happy to have a title, guys. Just
Yeah,
call me whatever you want.
I just
don't
wanted to-
call me late for dinner.
Hey.
Boo. So it be rigged.
What? Really?
I think the Grammys be rigged. Brian, do you have any comments on this as our chief resident curiosity correspondent of Cheese and Lameness?
It's probably rigged. Sure, yeah.
Okay. Do you like the Grammys?
No, I hate the Grammys.
Oh.
Well, let me slightly amend that. I think award shows are bullshit.
Okay.
In general, I think that people make art because they feel something, not because they want to win an award. And it shouldn't be a popularity contest. But I also think that it's human nature to want to rank things. Like I like watching all the Oscar-nominated movies and listening to all the Grammy-nominated records. I think that's a cool exercise to do to stay, informed with what's going on in the world.
Okay.
But I think that the criteria is never really clear as to sort of what makes a great album or a great movie, and so we're awarding things on different. We're awarding things on different scales. Not everything lines up, and so I think in some ways it probably is a popularity contest and rigged. In other ways, I think it always will be, no matter how hard you try.
Fair. So here's a serious question. Are the Grammys truly about talent, or is it a Diddy's Insider Club with industry politics? You want to take that one?
You've been to Diddy parties, so why don't you talk about this?
Well, I don't think that that Diddy should be a part of it anymore.
No.
No,
But is it an
Is it?
insider?
Yeah, probably. I mean, come on. There's millions of musicians out there. Some like we did an episode last week about this guy who
Daniel Johnston.
Yeah, has he won a Grammy? He's got really great music.
I don't think he has.
Did he win an award for his documentary?
Probably, I'm sure it won some independent award or something. Yeah.
But like Fish has never won a Grammy.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's true. I just asked Google, and AI overview said no. Fish has never won a Grammy, but
you
they
gotta
have
believe that.
been nominated. But like, the band said the awards and accolades are not their main focus. Which, to what you were saying, I don't think it should be the main focus when it comes to creating music. I think it should be for expressing oneself and for spreading joy or whatever sentiment you want to spread.
So I don't want to cut in here, but I'm going to cut in here.
Cut in.
I think one artist is all about winning awards, and that one artist is Beyonce.
Oh.
She won Album of the Year. Finally, it's her first win in this category, and she's made history as the first black woman to win a Best Country Album. I've seen... I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that there's like many country artists that probably deserve that. That's my issue.
I've heard conspiracy theories about how like Beyonce is like the top of like this Illuminati-esque organization within the Hollywood elite.
Yeah.
Where if you snub her, like the reason that Kanye West like flipped his shit when Taylor Swift won that whatever, and he was like, no, Beyonce deserves it. Like that was it. That was why. It was like damage control, or otherwise she would have been like
I've heard
unalived.
So I've heard that conspiracy theory that she pulls the thread on the things that need to happen. Then if that's true, then why hasn't she won all the awards she wanted?
Because you can't make it look that obvious.
I don't know. We're going to get into a little bit more of that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Brian?
Well,
I'm not trying to pull like she shouldn't have won, and like I think it's historical, but I do think that the Country Music Award people are probably like,
okay,
it's
so
not a great album. Did you listen to it?
I have listened to it. It's not my thing, right?
Yeah.
But here's my argument here. I don't think that there has ever been a Grammy Award given where it was truly the record of the year. Like, there are certain records that get nominated and that, are part of the conversation. But how many albums are released every year? Tens of thousands? And so the only way you can ever make the statement of, like, that doesn't deserve to win is if it beat out the actual best album of that. Otherwise, it's all bullshit, so why does it matter?
And also, like you mentioned tens of thousands of albums, and it's true. Like, what is the criteria, and how much due process are these albums receiving? Should it just be all decided by AI at this point?
No.
There is a process. We're going to go through it somehow. So there are some historic... I'm going to answer your question. That was a question, right?
I think so.
Okay.
It was almost a question.
I just like the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good deep.
Thanks.
You got to get in there, though.
I'm just really, just very close to the
Gotta get in
microphone. Yeah.
Historical controversies. Let's start there. Notable snubs. We all know the Jethro Tull versus Metallica in 1989. Jethro Tull was Crest of a Knave. Is it Knave? Is it called?
Yes.
Knave. Won the inaugural Best Hard Rock Metal Performance over Metallica. That was wrong. Fast forward to Mariah Carey, your favorite, Kevin.
Yeah.
Daydream 1996. Despite 6 nominations, including Album of the Year, she left with she was empty-handed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Was Nick Carter her significant other? Is that his name?
Well, from the Backstreet Boys?
No.
Nick Carter isn't the Backstreet Boys. Is not who you're thinking of.
He's not. Who's her significant other that gave her all the babies?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
The other Nick.
He's the guy who is like, this is not a joke, trying to repopulate the earth.
Mm.
So he has like 1 million children with 1 million different women.
Whoa.
Like, not 1 million though, but you're saying like several dozens.
I think he has over 12 children now.
Okay.
I'll look this up while you talk.
What is your title again? Your title is the Chief Curiosity Chorus, cheese,
and it's cheese and lameness.
All right.
He has 12 children right now.
children.
He has
that he knows of. Am I right?
Yeah.
and I want to say there's something like 8 mothers, and like at the same, like he had a baby in June of 22, and September of 22, and November of 22.
It'd be crazier if
with
he
3
had
different women.
It would be crazier if
Good
he
for
had 12 mothers and 8 babies.
That would be.
That would be cool. That's
Right?
weird, right?
Probably just tragic. Just before we go on, the Beyonce song
Yes.
Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
I recently saw a thing about this. The first time she performed it live was on New Year's Eve in Texas.
Yes.
Like a football game.
Yes, I saw that.
And she was like
Christmas, not New Year's Eve. Christmas.
Right. And she said something to the effect of like, I can think of no more appropriate place to debut this song live than here in Texas. And the first lyrics of the song are, "Not in Texas." I'm not in Texas, or whatever it is. We're not. This ain't Texas. This ain't Texas was the first lyrics of the song.
We didn't say she was bright. We said that she's a good performer.
Yeah.
You're also asking to get yourself killed. We've established she's the head of the Illuminati, and you are insulting her on.
Come at me, Beyonce.
So
Friend of the show.
Let's talk about how the voting process works for the Grammys. We're going to try to get through this. I did a tremendous amount of research on this.
Tremendous.
The Grammy Awards are presented by the Recording Academy.
Dude, this thing's 17 pages
It is
long.
very long, I know. All right.
Buckle in, viewer.
Each year, well, you asked a question.
I did.
And I'm going to answer it.
I forget what the question is, but please go on.
Each year, members and registered record companies submit recordings for award consideration. Okay, so you figure 350 genre experts, right? Are you a genre expert? I would say that you are.
What would my genre be?
It would be rock.
Dad rock.
Dad rock.
I will gladly be a dad rock correspondent for the Grammys. Yeah.
All right, so first round voting, the nomination round. This is the first ballot, meaning voting members pick nominees. However, to encourage informed voting, members can vote no more than 15 genre categories. Okay?
That makes sense to me because I feel like if you're a country guy, you shouldn't be voting in the hip hop category because you don't know that stuff as well.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying you can't have opinions about it, but you should be, if the idea is to make a representative sample of a certain genre of music, you should have experts in that genre.
Yes. 1995 to 2021, this was a little bit changed. The nomination review committees, historically, most categories then underwent nominations review by expert committees, introduced in 1995 after criticism of oddball album of the year, like the stuff we talked about with, I guess that's with Metallica and What's Them Faces. But in recent years, committees in 59 categories, including the Big Four general awards, would take the top 20 vote getters and secretly choose the final 5 to 8 nominees.
When you say secretly, does that mean they don't reveal how the process happens?
Secret ballot.
Okay.
Secret ballot. The committee members' identities were kept confidential to prevent lobbying, and according to the Academy, they were judged solely on artistic merit. Right? Sure. Since 2021, however, these nominations committees have been eliminated in general in most genre fields after complaints about the secrecy. Now, all nominees in those categories are determined purely by membership votes. Then you get to the final round. I don't know why they have so many rounds. I mean, geez. Once the nominees are set, the final ballot goes out to the voting members. Again, each voter can vote up to 10 categories. Members vote on the winners, and those votes are tabulated. An independent accounting from Deloitte and Touche. The Academy itself does not know. They do not know in advance whether who won, and winners are decided by the highest number of votes. Ties are possible, but rare. And the entire awards process is billed as a peer-driven, peer-voted, with no Academy insiders picking winners once the votes are cast. But guess what? It's been proven a few times, or actually accused a few times, that that's not the case. There was Deborah Dugan, who claimed the nomination process was rigged. Well, what's the big deal with her? I believe she was the Academy CEO.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
That's some insider knowledge there.
Yeah, saying the Academy board members and insiders in these committees push forward artists whom they have relationships, and even added artists to nomination lists who initially ranked too low for member votes. Her complaint alleges that in one case, and I want to talk about this, a musician serving on the Song of the Year committee in 2019 ensured their own song was nominated despite it ranking poorly in the general vote. And those artists were Kendrick Lamar, Ellie Mai, Drake, Shawn Mendes, Brandy Carlisle, Zedd, and Lady Gaga.
I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say it probably wasn't Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Shawn Mendes, Brandy Carlisle, or Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the other ones aren't legitimate, but
You're saying Lady Gaga, who's been accused of, she's being accused of this? She's the sole. You think she could be one of them, though?
I heard another conspiracy theory about Lady Gaga, where she was like a runner-up to be the character Lady Gaga, and she killed the
I didn't hear that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. She like threw her off a roof or something like that. Yeah.
I heard that she was part of the child which I really don't want to talk about, but I heard it was.
No, we should probably not touch that one.
No, we probably shouldn't, right?
Diddy
Brian,
Allen, though.
Brian, you are our chief correspondent.
All
for
Pizzagate,
and cheese
derivative things. We're going to leave alone today.
I lost my spot. The Gaga stuff threw me off.
Can I say one thing here about this process? So I'm a big baseball fan, as you folks both know. And with the Baseball Hall of Fame, there was a problem for a number of years where they had too many people who were voting. So old guys who hadn't written about baseball in years, because the baseball writers vote on the Hall of Fame, they would vote for players they had heard of. They wouldn't do the research. They would just say, oh, I know who that guy is, vote for them. And so the votes would come back, and it wouldn't be representative of who, the active voters wanted. And so I wonder with this, if you're on I'm going to keep using country as the example, if you're on the country committee, I think you should be required to prove you listen to the 50 finalists or whatever it is, because...
how do you do that?
I don't know how you do that, but I just think it's silly to have people who...
Essays. Have them write essays.
You want to Clockwork Orange them?
Yes.
Sit them in a chair with ears, headphones on?
Well, there has to be some accountability, right?
Okay.
Because otherwise, what's to stop them from not just voting for the person they've heard of, or being lazy about
or
it?
The person who paid them.
Yeah, the person who paid them, exactly.
Yeah. Well, there's... I really don't know what to say. I can't tell you... All I can tell you is what I'm being shown here. There's a conflict of interest as the committee members are doing these votes, and it's been obvious over the years, and there's been multiple artists that have said that's an issue. And I can't blame them. There's biases, I guess, in every single category. There's also biases. You could even argue that from 2013-18, only 9.3% of the nominees in the top Grammy categories were women, and acclaimed black artists like Beyoncé and Kendrick Lamar are often snubbed in major awards.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not the world's biggest Beyoncé fan musically, but I think it is kind of insane that she's maybe the most famous or top 3 most famous pop stars in the world, and she hadn't won a Grammy for Album of the Year. That seems like what pop stars of her echelon do. Yeah. And so the fact that she doesn't, well, why hasn't she won it?
Can I have some of that Law and Order music? This underrepresentation has led to accusations that the Grammys favored male and older mainstream artists, like Brian.
Yep.
And one former committee member even noted an unwritten rule: exclude extremely popular albums from certain genre categories, which destroys that whole thing that we're saying that it's like a popularity contest.
I think both things can be true depending on the category. I remember there was a big deal in 2000, 2001 when Steely Dan won Best Pop Album over NSYNC. People were like, but NSYNC is popular. That's pop means popular.
Yes.
And the Academy was like, yes, but pop music has... And I can see both sides of it, but there shouldn't be a category where Steely Dan and NSYNC are competing.
Shame.
They're totally different types of music.
Shame on them. Steely Dan is terrible.
No, Steely Dan is fantastic.
Steely Dan is terrible.
I'm with Brian on this. I like Steely Dan.
Absolutely horrific. Every time I hear a Steely Dan song, it makes me want to do this.
Yeah,
it's great.
Exactly. That's the point. Thank you for joining us.
It's very hokey. Okay, anybody that thinks that Steely Dan is good, you need to have your head examined, guys.
Well, if you, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say, if you want to provide us with some health care, I'll go to the psychiatrist for this. But
this Steely Dan commentary brought to you by Angry Dan.
So has any corruption been proven? It's important to note here that there's no concrete evidence. It's all just people saying stuff.
It's also not illegal.
What, to collude?
The police are going to come investigate this, so, I guess they could want to change because it's the right thing to do or because they get in trouble for it, but there's not going to be, a police investigation for it, right?
It's music's biggest night, quote unquote, right? So I think the statements from artists and industry leaders probably say it the most. The Grammys remain corrupt. You owe me, the fans, and the community. That's The Weeknd. Halsey said she was also shut out of the 2021 nominations. She wanted more transparency. Drake and Frank Ocean, similar stuff. The Grammys don't matter. Deborah Dugan, we know what she said. There's a lot of people out there that don't think that it's even relevant. It's just an overblown popularity contest with zero relevance in society.
The one thing I will give the Grammys credit for is that every now and then you get an album that cuts through and becomes big that would never without that. Like, for instance, do you remember, I think it was in 01 or 02 or somewhere around that time, when the Oh Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack won? It was
Yes.
like all this like Americana, junk band music.
Yeah.
People were totally unfamiliar with that genre of music. This movie came out, has a great soundtrack, that won Album of the Year, I believe, or at least won some big award. And like, my mom bought that album. Like, people who would never have listened to Appalachian Americana music were exposed to it. And so when the Grammys can do something like that, that's actually kind of cool.
I like that.
But, how often does that happen?
Not very often. I'm skipping over stuff.
Pink Pony Club, though.
What?
Pink Pony Club.
What about
Keep
that?
on dancing.
You got to keep on dancing. Did you see the performance by Chappell Roan?
No, I like her. I like that one song. Reminds me of the 80s. Reminds me of Kate Bush.
Hot to Go?
Hot to Go.
Yeah, no, something Babe.
I got you, babe. That's Cher.
Chappell Roan.
It's Chappell, guys.
Chappell Roan.
Dave Chappell Roan.
Dave Chappelle. My daughter's going to kill me. Songs.
Your daughter was here.
Good luck.
She put on Sufjan Stevens one day on the
Yeah.
radio. I was like, oh, good.
Good Luck, Babe. That's the name of the song.
Yeah.
You know what song I'm
Yeah,
talking
it's a
about?
good song.
Okay, it's a very good song. Yes, I've done my work.
You've done well.
I've done the hard work
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
father. I'm working on the middle one, and then the other one likes Kanye.
Sure.
Did you see what Kanye did at the Grammys this year, by the way?
I
saw what his wife did.
I
Yeah.
did. And I sat down next to my son yesterday to put down my my mug, and I was like, "So, were you and your friends talking about Kanye yesterday?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Were you talking about his wife?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like, all right, just want to make sure we had this conversation.
They weren't even invited.
They weren't invited.
Nope. They crashed the red carpet. They weren't invited. It was just a publicity stunt.
I love it. That's brilliant. Come on, you gotta hand it to him.
I like Will Smith's son wearing the house hat. I thought that was fun.
house.
Yeah, so he was wearing like a hat that wrapped around his whole skull, and it was in the shape of a black mansion.
Okay.
It was fun. It was fun for me to look at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
thought
Just
you
pictures of him in it not smiling. It's just great.
I thought you meant
It's art.
a hat with the character House on it.
Yeah, like from the set.
Yeah, from the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie, exactly.
record of the year was basically the big winner was Kendrick Lamar. Best new artist
They're
was
not like us.
Chappell Roan, Dave Chappell Roan.
Dave Chappell Roan.
Best vocal album, Sabrina Carpenter. And best pop solo performance with Sabrina Carpenter. There's a couple. I like A Die With a Smile. You've been teaching that, haven't you?
No.
Oh, who's teaching that? Are you teaching that?
Maybe I have.
Somebody is.
Oh wait, maybe I have.
That's the Bruno Mars Lady
That's
Goo Goo
this-
Gaga. Yeah. The major
Yeah.
seventh chords. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a jazz tune. There's a lot of like 2, 5, 6. Oh, what?
Cute.
You thought that was going to 1. That is a good. I like that song.
Is it Tame Impala?
Tame Impala, yes.
That's a good band.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
They have a couple good tunes. So this whole rundown isn't too bad. I've seen some years when it was I forgot about the Steely Dan thing. That was outrageous.
Suppressed rage.
I
on Earth.
understand that. Like, to me, what the Grammys should be is just an opportunity for out-of-touch white folks like us to learn about new music. But
That's
it's
what it
not that.
should
But it's not
be.
that. But that's
No.
what it should be.
Now, there's been a couple times where you've gotten someone who's not that quite famous beat like the Justin Bieber in the world for Best New Artist, and everyone's like, what? I get it.
Am I reading this correctly? Best rock performance was Now and Then by the
Yeah.
Beatles. The Beatles.
The Beatles, yeah.
And I think Best Rock Album was the Rolling Stones.
I believe so, yeah.
They got that wrong.
So Now and Then was the one that was like cobbled together from like
Yes.
John's old tapes,
So
right?
Yeah.
Best Rock Performance, is that live performance?
No.
So, yeah, I don't understand that then. They just gave that to them. Did any of the Beatles come to claim the award?
I don't know.
Ringo lives in L.A. What's he doing?
I don't know. I thought he was retired.
Putting out fires, probably.
But no,
He still tours, Ringo.
he does. They're in their 80s, soon to be 90s, and still touring. I don't understand the Rolling Stone thing. I guess I missed that one, but they did win, like, I guess, the best rock album or something stupid. I can't remember. Okay, do you guys want to do a game show?
Yeah, we
Yes.
do.
That's the only thing you guys are here for.
Dying over here. Right
Game
now.
title, Grammy Showdown, Fact or Fiction. We're going to talk about our grandmothers and show them naked.
My Grammy passed when I was like 12.
My grandmother's still alive.
Good for you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's 104.
Wow.
She's going to be 105.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to...
Not a single grandparent of mine made it to 75, and yours is 105.
Yeah.
40 years.
I know.
30 years. 30 years more than my grandparents.
You know what's messed up? It's the typical love story of the World War II era. And my grandfather died in 1981. So she's been without him for almost 50 years.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts? And all she wants is to go back and see him in heaven. And it's like, okay, Grandma. We love you, Grandma. I know you're not watching
Shout
this.
out Dan's grandma.
Yeah. Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good old-fashioned
That's
grandma name.
Yes, Dorothy.
What was your other grandmother's name?
Angelina.
What are your grandmother's names?
Jane and Lillian.
Whoa.
Lillian.
Margaret, which is a A+ grandma name.
Yeah.
And Philomena.
Whoa.
Whoa, senti
Right off of the
That was not good.
That was racist?
Horrible.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
He doesn't like the Italian racism, but it's well deserved.
I don't. You don't see me throwing up ACLU banners everywhere. You're like, it's a rep, okay.
Grammy Showdown, Fact or Fiction, naked grandmas everywhere. We're gonna test the co-host's knowledge of Grammy history.
Cool.
Super cool.
So the intro, we're going to briefly explain the rules, which is what we're doing right now. Each co-host will take turns deciding if the statement about the Grammy is fact or fiction. You got those rules, Kevin? Because each week you have lots of questions.
Is that true or false?
Correct answers earn points.
Whoa.
Incorrect answers do not.
Slow down.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present a statement to one of you schmucks. One of you schmucks is going to declare whether it believes the statement is fact or fiction, and I'm going to reveal the correct answer and provide a brief explanation. You'll get extra points if you do that for me. Okay. Got it?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Who's going first? Should we just flip a coin? Should we flip each other? Should we flip each other off? Kevin goes first.
Beat you to it.
He flipped me off.
All right.
All right. So the question is, Grammy Awards were first televised in 1959.
What am I supposed to do? Oh, true. True. This is going to be true.
So you're
Facts.
supposed to say whether it's fact or fiction.
Oh, facts.
So the Grammy Awards were they took place in 1959, but were not televised until 1971.
Oh.
So it's fiction, you piece of shit.
Trick question. And insult to injury.
Yeah. All right. Next, Brian.
Yeah.
Santana holds the record for the most Grammy Awards won in a single night by a group.
I believe that's true for his Supernatural album. So
Fact or fiction? Thank you. In 2000,
I don't know why you're being so dogmatic of it. We're saying the same thing. I don't
by
know.
the rules.
Okay.
What do you think? If you answer the question in Jeopardy as an answer,
Okay. This ain't Jeopardy, bro. just saying. All right.
fact. In 2000, Santana won 8 Grammy Awards in one night, tying with Michael Jackson for the most awards in one single ceremony. I don't know what it was, so
It was for Supernatural.
whatever.
Yeah.
Kevin, the Grammy trophy is made entirely of gold.
Fiction.
Fiction, he
It's made
says.
of bronze and then covered in probably a gold paint.
It's zinc alloy.
God, I knew
You
this.
said fiction, though. You said fiction.
Stupid.
You're good at it.
Oh.
Relax. Stupid. Chris Farley over here.
It's a zinc alloy called Grammym.
Is that where
Gramium.
Is that where the Grammy gets its
I
name?
guess so. It's
Gramophone is where I guess the name from.
no. Well, it says Gramium is.
I'm sure they invented it for the statue and named it that.
You can't invent an element, Brian.
Yes, you can. Happens all the time.
That's how
Okay.
atom bombs
All right,
happen.
fact or fiction? Brian, back to you. The Beatles have won more Grammy Awards than any other band.
I don't think that's true. That's fiction.
Fiction, he says. He pronounced it wrong, though. He might have to get it wrong.
That's fiction.
Okay. While the Beatles are iconic, U2 holds the record for most Grammy Awards by a group.
Which truly shows there is no God.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Wait a second. Hold a second. Are you... This is several times you've disparaged U2 on this show.
U2 is fine, but not the Beatles.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Right?
Fair. No, fair. Okay.
That was a U2 song, right?
Sure.
No, 2 notes. Kevin, back to you. The first
Hey.
rap album to win Album of the Year was Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
I'm going to say that they're fiction, and the correct answer is Chronic 2001.
Wrong. Fact. 1999. Stupid. First hip-hop album to win album of the year or whatever. All right.
It's a good album.
Brian, I don't even know if I have enough questions. Question at Steve Wonder. Yes,
Stephen Wonder Esquire.
Yeah, Steve Wonder has won more Grammy Awards than any other solo artist. Steve.
Mr. Steven.
He's won a lot. I'm gonna say that's fact.
It is fiction. You're wrong. Loving this. I love when you get stuff wrong. While Steve Wonder has won 25 Grammys, Beyonce, Bebe, holds the record.
Wait, we were just talking about how she doesn't win any Grammys, but all of a sudden she has the most ever?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep track of this stuff. I let other people do that for me. Brian. Kevin.
Yes.
The Grammy Awards has always included a category for Best Rap Album.
I'm going to say intuitively that is fiction because we established the first Grammy Awards was like 1959, and then like rap wasn't really a genre until like the late 70s.
Yeah, but you know, Ella Fitzgerald
Didn't rap.
did not rap. You're correct. Brian, Christopher.
He's correct, right?
Yeah, he's correct.
For scoreboard purposes.
Yeah, all right.
You're
Thank
tied
you.
up at 2.
Got it on the board.
Whatever.
Wait, I got one right before?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Christopher Cross is the only artist to have. First, you gotta do. Right? That song? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. All right.
What was that?
Christopher Cross is the only artist to ever won all 4 General Field Awards in a single ceremony. This is a good question.
Ooh. If it wasn't for Arthur's theme, that's wrong. That's a great song.
Yeah. Only artists have won all 4 General. You have 4 seconds. 3.
Fiction.
Fiction is correct. Good guess. Both. You know, it's one of 2. Both Christopher Cross and Billie Eilish have done it. Okay, next. Grammy Awards originally called the Gramophone Awards.
That is fact.
That is fact. Very good. Next. No artist has ever won a Grammy posthumously.
That's not true. That's
just
obviously fiction.
We just established that.
Jimmy
John-
Carter won a Grammy on Sunday
What?
Did he really?
for a spoken word book.
For his
Wow.
for his new rap album.
Shout
that
out Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
just- Yeah.
Also, you know, John Lennon and George Harrison just won one.
exactly.
Posthumously. If you don't know that word, if you've never seen that word before, you're going to say it incorrectly. It took me a couple of years to get that one
Said
right.
posthumously.
Posthumously, yeah, a couple times on this show. The Grammy Awards are held in the same city every year. Who's next?
Me, I'm going to say that that's fiction.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in the middle of that.
Yes.
It's fiction.
Which was it? Fact or fiction?
Well, it's fiction, and the most recent was held in L.A., but I think it's also been in like San Francisco and also some other places, probably Trenton.
Yeah, some other liberal city. Where?
I have to score this. Is he correct?
He was correct. Fiction, you said, right? Fiction.
I said fiction.
All right. Are you next? What's the score?
4-4.
Whoa! Adele is the first artist to win album, record, song of the year twice. Fact or fiction? You have 3 seconds to answer.
It's my turn. You're looking at him.
yeah,
That
sorry.
is fiction.
That is fact.
I remember talking about that last year. Pay
Really?
attention, Brian. We
Yeah,
talked
pay
about
attention
it.
to the
Do I
show.
have to?
No, that's fine.
Apparently, that was the last.
So we're tied.
So we're tied again. That's the last question. Oh, that sucks. Nobody gets to the end anyway. If you or someone else is interested in learning music, you could probably do that here. You should click the link below and follow us on all the socials. We got more people downloading us on Podbean and the other audio websites. It's actually ticked up a tad.
There we go.
Something's happening there. And if you like this, please comment below. Tell us what you think. Much hate about Kevin as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, I can take it.
All right, and
It's
we'll see
character
you. We'll see you next time here on Real Brave Live.